Peekaboo. Yeah, buddy. Big changes cometh. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our final episode of the season. I'm your host, JR. This is the TSAHoops show, and I guess you could call this the season finale. It's been a very long season stretching upon about 1.5 NBA seasons, a full Summer Olympics, one full WNBA season, and it is time to take a break. uh, Last day of class, y'all. School's out for the summer, so we getting it all out there, man. And we are going to try not to get emotional. Uh, it's sort of bittersweet, when we take breaks like this, but they're much needed so that way we can come back to you fresh. But yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. If you've been tuning in all season long, again, much love and appreciation to you. And don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button if you're watching this later. So that way, when we come back for y'all, you don't miss a thing. You don't miss a beat. So we won't miss one either. And for all of you, yes, I did shave my beard. It's not that great of a story. It's not a James Harden playoff beard type of deal. It was just time. It was just time for your boy to get the clean face, and family is was not well received. Let me tell you that. We'll get to that later. Man, all right, let's just start from the top. We gotta talk about how we got here to this moment in time. It is a week after the NBA finals has ended, and we go all the way back to the beginning of the season, a little bit of the preseason. Remember that we had our preseason rankings. We put out a bunch of information for you guys to consume to get ready for the season. And then the season began, and it was on its head. There were certain participants in the NBA playoffs that originally weren't supposed to be there based on how they were playing early on in the season. Don't forget, we had big offseason trades. We had Damian Lillard coming over, still getting used to his team, and it was year 2 for that for the Bucks. Denver had lost some pieces, and they were getting readjusted to that. So we were checking to see how players like Christian Braun and Julian Strawther would basically coalesce with this Denver squad that was going to be heavily featuring Russell Westbrook. Performances weren't that great. Teams like Indiana, although they were featuring the Rookie of the Year or candidate at the time, they were also in the bottom of the barrel of teams. We're talking where Washington was at, where teams like teams like Portland were at. It was a lot watching a team like Milwaukee just not ball out like they did. Watching Denver not start out as great as they did, they had a poor start to their season as well. And so we were not sure how crazy this season was going to get. And then fast forward to the NBA Cup, in which we saw teams start to get better. We saw Milwaukee start to get better. We saw Indiana start to get better. The tale of Cleveland, the Cleveland Cavs was a thing. And Boston, the Celtics lost their first game against Atlanta. That it was a commissioner's cup. Was an NBA Emirates Cup qualifying game. It was the first game of the season. So everything was crazy, was a little bit corrective, getting towards the NBA Cup towards December there. And then we had the All-Star break. And the trade that shocked the world. That proved that nobody in the league is safe. That GMs and owners are in control. And then you started to see the domino effects. Not just players, but coaches as well. Luka Doncic gets traded. What up, Mel? Good morning. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you. Luka Doncic gets traded for Anthony Davis. Effectively one other player and a pick. And everyone said that that's absolutely cheating. How can Nico Harrison do the thing that he did? Trade away their team's best player right after making the NBA Finals. What was it about Luka Doncic that made them say halfway through the season, oh, Anthony Davis, who at the time was helping the Lakers to be the third best defensive team in the West, traded players away that effectively were part of JJ Redick's, as a first-year coach, JJ Redick's best stretch of basketball being played and being coached, beating some premier teams. And then they added Luka Doncic and shifted away their defensive interior presence, shifted away Max Christie, who was coming into his own as far as being able to be a dependable wing defender. And so, the league was like, what's going on? Cleveland was still out in front, and then Oklahoma City was showing people that, no, they are the number one team by effectively getting 60 wins. And so we get to the playoffs, and what we knew at that point was that we could only go off of what we believed based on prior data. So we thought Indiana wasn't much of a threat. We thought Orlando would go a little bit deeper in the playoffs, that Cleveland could do something, but New York wasn't actually going to have it together to be able to get further than the second round. And boy, we were wrong. Dead wrong. Oklahoma City was the only team out of the entire playoffs that proved that they were the team that we thought they were. And if you would have told me today that Indiana will be taking any team to 7 games in the NBA Finals, I would have told you crazy. I wouldn't have put the house on it, but I would have put a good chunk of money on that. I said, nah. This Indiana team that was topsy-turvy, couldn't quite string a bunch of games together, would lose against some really bad teams. Their leader is supposed to be Tyrese Halliburton, but it really feels more like Pascal Siakam. Consistent score, not in Tyrese Halliburton. This isn't the team that's not always 100% that's not 100% healthy. What kind of defense are they playing? Come on now. Yeah, that Pacers team was going to take a very powerful, a top tier team like Oklahoma City to 7 games. Because of that, OKC is champs, y'all. And that's effectively how we got here. We blew through the playoffs. We were shocked. We were awed. We were found wrong. We were found right in a couple of things. We were amazed. We were disappointed. We cried. We laughed. And now we're here, Oklahoma City as champs. My initial reaction to that is, okay, cool. Basketball gods kind of evened it out because those surprises in Indiana pushing I think the hardest pill to swallow was Indiana winning game 6. And not because they won game 6, but because of the physical state of Tyrese Halliburton, whose right leg was basically starting to come apart at the seams. Because of Indiana winning game 6 in the way that they did, which made OKC look like they have been throughout certain parts of the playoffs, lethargic. They had looked lost. They looked discombobulated, and somehow, some way, Tyrese Halliburton played through a grade 2 hamstring, shocked us all, proved us wrong. Then he got hurt in game 7, a few minutes into the game, and we all know the rest is history. After being able to sit with it for a week, I really think that Oklahoma City is very deserving of this championship, and it's not an antithesis or to be contrarian to how social media is trying to treat every other championship like a Mickey Mouse championship. Because if you guys, for you guys talking about the Lakers having a Mickey Mouse ring, y'all not new to this, okay? People have been trying to talk about how a team didn't really get a real championship because of X, Y, or Z for decades. They've been making excuses for the rest of the league not being able to get there, when really they're just salty about their own team not making it. I mean, you guys are still talking about the Houston Rockets 2 championships when Michael Jordan had retired from the league the first time. Come on now. Childish. Anyway, I'm saying this because Oklahoma City went through some really tough teams. Again, they took care of a Wolves team that finally came down to earth, but was really tough, young, and tenacious, which was a proven thing throughout this playoffs. They beat up on an aging and discombobulated Lakers squad, okay? The Wolves. And Oklahoma City beat them. The Oklahoma City beat a Denver Nuggets team that had fired their head coach a week before the playoffs. A Nuggets team that took a much more seasoned, a much more prepared Los Angeles Clippers team to 7 games, beat them in 7 games, y'all, and then took Oklahoma City to 7 games. Almost won that series too early on until Oklahoma City brought it back and won that. I don't know, man. Oklahoma City is more than deserving of this win, because on the other side, you had an Indiana Pacers team that beat everyone that we thought would stop them, except for Boston. Indiana beat Cleveland, y'all. Cleveland had the longest win streak of the season, and Indiana beat them. Don't tell me that Oklahoma City didn't play tough teams. They just made it look easy because that's what professionals do. And as a result of that win, we had Shai Gilgeous-Alexander got the triple crown, baby. Yeah, it's rare. That's rare company, man. To be able to be the scoring leader for the season, to be the MVP and the Finals MVP. You know who was right behind him? Nikola Jokic, right behind, like on SGA's heels for all three categories. Don't tell me greatness was not in this young man. Nikola Jokic pretty dope too. So the reaction to that, I think that's really hard to do. I think that's absolutely dope, and he's deserving of it. I mean, you saw Jalen Williams, the number 2 on the team. He put the name in the hat. You know, he definitely deserved a nod, but I'm glad that SGA got it. It wrapped up a nice bow on this season. Very weird happening on the day of game 7 where NBA trades started happening. So then, you know, that was an indication of the NBA just not going anywhere, even though they have a game 7, even though it's the last game of the season, the game is still going. So free agency is now upon us, and going to be a lot of moving parts. Biggest thing was the Kevin Durant thing, and eventually we'll address that. But professor's not giving out any homework for the summer, so we're going to go ahead and not do the extra heavy lifting until the dust settles. So we're going to get back to that in a little bit in a month. But here we are, guys. That's been the season, sort of in a nutshell. And I guess this would be a good time to just address all y'all. I mean, we've had a lot of comings and goings as far as personnel are concerned that have been here on the show. So shout out to Rico, shout out to Iggy, shout out to JC, who's jumped in a couple of times. Shout out to Joe, who's been our resident Boston hater, who's helped out. Shout out to Deontay Adams, who's out there with his account, our Boston lover. So, you know, all about balances, right? Shout out to all you guys who have been tuning in as watchers, as listeners, who come back and watch this show because you've been through it with us. The contests, the betting, the everything, really. Um, it's been a really solid season of just good old fashioned hard work. And you guys have helped with the legwork. And oh yeah, shout out to Coach too, who's chimed in a couple of times and helped us out with some stats there throughout the playoffs, particularly, and for some of our daily bets there. Man, I don't know. I can't express anything more than gratitude on the show today. So I guess we could just start out with that and end that by saying thank you, everyone. Thank you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. We got plenty of time, and if anyone ends up on this show, we're gonna give them time. We're gonna give them breath to come on. Let's see. We got to talk about stuff that's coming up in the future when we come back. Okay, so the show itself is taking a hiatus for a few weeks. Gonna get back well after July 4th. So we're gonna be coming back. It looks like we're gonna be back around the 20th of July. So that's 7/20. Should be same times, same as usual. No big changes as far as the time slot is concerned. Updates on that will be coming, of course, via the right channels. We'll send it out in our socials. We'll update the time as the show gets prepped, so that way you guys have plenty of time to get prepared for that show. Things to look for as far as hoops. The show itself, normally we go every week. Because we are about a third of the way through the WNBA season, we'll be right after the Commissioner's Cup. At that point in time, and if you guys don't know what the Commissioner's Cup is, it's basically kind of a mid-season marker for the WNBA, which is going to happen on July 1st. It's usually a good indicator as to one of the teams that's going to be there deep into the playoffs. If the Commissioner's Cup has revealed anything, it is that follow the pattern of the last winners, most recently the Minnesota Lynx, whom were participants in the WNBA finals. So if you guys are looking at futures bets, I would start with looking at the Commissioner's Cup, to which we'll address, of course, on the first show after when we get back. Other stuff to look for. As far as the show is concerned, content, we're going to be giving you a lot of WNBA because it's summer and there's 44 games versus 82, so we get a little bit more space, but not as much because there's 44 games now versus the 30-something games from last season for WNBA. This is going to be a lot more for us to give you in spurts. It may be that the show comes less frequently during the summer, just so that way we can kind of build up a lot more stuff, get a lot more people in here, so that way they can chime in with you, the watchers, the listeners. Looking forward to some possible future guests on the show. Definitely going to be working on that. Know that it's been a little light because you guys have been going solo just because of the timing and everything. We're on the West Coast. So I'm going to try and improve a bit upon that. One thing that we did lightly that I really appreciated for the participation, and it worked effectively, that we're going to be doing more next season. Guys, we like to see you guys winning, okay? The watchers, the listeners. We like to see you winning for tuning in, being rewarded in some way and somehow, not just being able to see this handsome face every Sunday, okay? I mean, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Don't be throwing them things on stage, ma'am. No, I don't need those, okay? I don't got the markers to sign them. I'm not Usher. No, this show is not just for the discourse. It's to try to somewhat chop up all the information that we receive and then give it to you in part so that way you can utilize it to win. I mean, whether it's a bet against your friend for that bag of chips or it's for a couple $100, whatever it is, we want you to win it. And we also want to find other ways of winning for you. So there are going to be, with that being said, more contests, more things for you guys to participate in throughout the season. So we're going to be featuring a couple of things. Just a little preview. 2 seasons ago, we were featuring the a daily pick'em contest, in which the season winner will win something towards the end. It was very cumbersome. It was very trying to try to do, but we saw some good things about that I believe we will be that I believe were great, and we took small pieces of that, kind of hashed it up, and we'll put it out for you in the next show once we get it all fleshed out. It's going to be featured towards the end of the WNBA season, so that'll be closer to preseason for NBA. We're going to feature it on a week-to-week basis, and it's going to give you guys the opportunity to get some swag, cash prizes, etc., enter you into some bigger things. We also saw some good things coming out of our TSA fantasy season. So we're going to go ahead and re-up that. And we're going to invite you guys a lot earlier on so that way you have an opportunity to participate in order to get some better feedback. We're going to be giving you some of our more fantasy analysis, just as far as impact of certain players, what to look forward to, results of the draft. Results of the draft. That's going to be a big thing, I think, this season, because it's going to be a huge offseason. It's going to be a huge undertaking. So we want to make sure to let you guys know how newly acquired players will affect your fantasy squads. And we're going to start upping the ante on some of these things because we want you guys to really tune in and tap in. We want to start to get it at a level of some of our fantasy football counterparts are, because this is the sports affiliation. It's sports first, and it's all sports. And we got a little baseball in here. We're still trying to work on hockey division. But we got the hoops going right now. We want you guys fully tapped and tuned in. You know what I mean? Now, my compatriots, my compadres are out there doing live drafts at the Scott Fish Bowl. So we won't get them today. But that's okay. Because like I said, we're taking a break right now. We're going to have things ready for the future show coming up. And don't worry, we will have you guys tuned in. That don't see any questions. Don't see you guys out there lined up because again, it's Sunday. Football season is starting up, y'all. And I think for the first time in a while, I'm looking forward to the football season as well. Just from a fan perspective. But gonna be taking these next few weeks, spend some time with family, get some vacation time, let you guys rest, not have to worry about ball going in the hole. And that'll be that. Yeah, let's just go ahead and break that down too. Stuff to look forward to for the WNBA season. Again, as I mentioned, the Commissioner's Cup, July 1st. That's this coming Tuesday. It's the Indiana Fever at the Minnesota Lynx. Again, Caitlin Clark has not played in the last 2-3 games for the Indiana Fever due to a hamstring strain. So it's going to be interesting seeing that. Yo, good morning, Joe. Just wrapping things up, saying our goodbyes, giving shout outs to you and the rest of the crew. They're going to be facing a Minnesota Lynx team that's on fuego right now with a MVP candidate, and there's a 1 and a 2 right now, and she's not 2. Nafisa Collier is absolutely dismantling the league right now, and so it's going to be interesting to see what personnel is going to be available for Indiana. I mean, don't forget, Aaliyah Boston is still there, still kicking it, still killing it in the big girls position. Versus a Minnesota Lynx team that again is got the proverbial MVP so far. Nafisa Collier right now has got the votes. So we'll see who wins that cup, because they are also last year's champions, and I'm pretty sure she's hungry for a ring. She's pretty close in beating the New York Liberty. So I feel like she's and the team is ready for this chance to come back and win it. They would be, I believe, I'm not sure if this will be the first time a team has won the cup back to back if they win on Tuesday, and then also if they reach the finals, be the team that's gone back to back in both sets. We've seen some repeats as far as teams and personnel be involved as far as the playoffs are concerned, but repeat champs has been very hard to do. The last team that did that were the Aces. The Lynx as an organization have won titles before. Just with this crew is different. So it'll be interesting to see as far as how this indicator points forward, because if you ask the armchair pundits, the Fever are going to win the whole thing. Don't know how, especially with. And let me just get this here. Yeah, the Fever right now are 8-8 at 500. They just won the recent game. That's 8 out of 13 teams. Don't forget also that we just added a new team, so that's going to be fun to talk about. Golden State Valkyries, who have a winning record right now in their inaugural season with their first year head coach. A lot of this stuff has been exciting for the city. Been a lot of support out there. Quite possible that them making the playoffs would be somewhat equivalent to the Las Vegas Golden Knights in the NHL, to make a comparison. Would be a lot of big things going on with that team. So some stuff to look forward to, but not really sure how an Indiana Fever team would fare against the league leading 13-2 Minnesota Lynx. State of the NBA, the WNBA right now. Lynx up top, Phoenix at second, whom the Phoenix Mercury completely rehauled their team. A lot of players that you thought you knew are all gone, which is one of the big reasons why you're seeing their success right now. New York Liberty, defending champs, they're at 11-4. They were leading the league at one point, and then they came back. They came down to earth by losing to, in fact, the Indiana Fever, of all the one of the teams. And I don't mean like of all the teams, but it's pretty surprising that the Liberty played as bad as they did in that game. But they're 6-4 right now. They just took another L last night. Right behind them, the Atlanta Dream at 10-6. Then right behind them, a very tough Seattle Storm team. And we'll get a lot into them. Said Golden State Valkyries, they're at 6. They're at a winning record of 8-7. Fever right behind them at 8-8. Mystics, Washington Mystics, and almost said Satu Sabali. It's her sister that plays on the Mystics. That team has had an overhaul as well. They're actually a team that, if I remember correctly, they had fired their head coach just last season. They're one of the 5 teams that fired their head coach. So again, we had 6 new head coaches at least. Chicago Sky, Indiana, Los Angeles, I believe it's Connecticut, Washington, and then Golden State would be the 6th one. So a lot to talk about there when we come back. And then way down there, I mean, it seems like season after season, this team is just getting blow after blow, and they're getting worse and worse. The Las Vegas Aces are at 7-8 right now, and no one knows exactly what's going on. They're beating all the teams that are like first and second year teams, featuring rookies and everything like that. But they're not that great of a team right now. And between the concussion that Asia Wilson had suffered and the collective team not gelling and scoring as well, it's kind of surprising to see and sad to see the Aces down at the 9th spot. And right behind them, rookies teams, and then the Connecticut Sun. So LA Sparks, Dallas Wings, who's right now featuring possible Rookie of the Year, Paige Beckers, but the field is not as black and white as Paige Beckers and everyone else. It's a lot wider than that. Chicago Sky also featuring a couple rookies, notably Haley Van Lith. If any of you guys remember Haley HVL on the LSU team a couple years ago, who transferred a couple times after that, found a home and finally settled in, and then got to the W. And then Connecticut Sun, they're at 13th, the 13th spot, 2-14. They're just not that team this season. So we'll see what happens next year. But yeah, once we get back, guys, we're going to come in strong and let you guys know what it is. I, for one, am pretty excited because of all the stuff that's coming for you guys that we're going to be doing. We're not just going to be able to simply focus on the game itself and just recap for you guys. We're going to have our own stuff going for you guys. Allow you guys to participate a lot more, to interact a lot more. You guys will be able to talk about stuff amongst your friends, and just keep the word badges in the back of your mind as you close out this show today. All right, I've signed my yearbooks, done the last of my classes. There's no homework assignments. Now I got to do nothing but sit back and have my sandwich. I think that's about it for us. I hope you guys got exactly what you needed out of this season. If not, there's more to come. Let me know what you need. We got it. Yeah, let's shut it down with that. It's been a pleasure to talk to all of y'all. This is the Sports Affiliations TSA Hoop Show with me, JR. As my late aunt used to say, peace and blessings. And as we always close out the show, love, peace, chicken grease, y'all. Enjoy your Sunday.